Welcome to the final episode of the first season of The Animal Highlight. This first season of The Animal Highlight is focused in on animals in relation to the urban and has been extracted from season 3 of the Animal Turn podcast. In this episode, you're going to hear us talking all about a very special kind of animal, humans. Enjoy. For this final animal highlight, I thought that we should maybe focus on an animal that's been rather implicit throughout the season, and that is humans. Humans are the most widespread primates in the world. We, are social animals who are very adept at using tools. Homo sapiens emerged about 300,000 years ago and then split into different groups through migration. When humans started to domesticate was about 15,000 to 10,000 years ago. This period of domestication is often considered to be one of the big moments in human history and fundamentally changed the ways in which many humans structure their societies and their ways of living. Today, most of the 7.9 billion humans on Earth reside in permanent settlements, and over half of these people are in cities. Humans are increasingly an urban-dwelling species, aggregating into specific areas. And this aggregation has, in our most recent history, also led to a division in labor and kind of specialized tasks becoming increasingly more and more specialized. And when I started to look up, just searching interesting facts about humans, I was rather struck by how differently these articles presented to articles that I was looking at about other animals. So if I looked up, for example, interesting facts about raccoons or squirrels, the articles almost immediately went to the biological or to the body. But what it did with humans was the same thing, but there was a differentiation between the species and the bodies. So all of these articles kind of said interesting facts about human bodies, whereas the articles about other animals just said interesting facts about raccoons or interesting facts about squirrels or interesting facts about leopards. And I don't really know how to articulate what that difference is, but for me, it's maybe pointing a bit to how we kind of view human bodies and human minds as separate, whereas animals are kind of amalgamated into one. I digress. There were some pretty interesting and fun facts about human bodies, and I'm going to share some of them with you here. So while it's true that humans are not the biggest or the strongest animal, and I would probably argue not the smartest either, humans are the best at long distance running in terms of endurance, which is really fascinating. I would have thought that wolves would have been up there and far, exceeded what humans are capable of. But in fact, humans, because of our ability to sweat, our ability to sweat and our upright posture are fantastic long distance runners. Goosebumps are the result of adrenaline. And it's believed that historically we might have used this adrenaline to make our hair stand up to appear a bit more fearsome to predators and those that are trying to get us. Our ears, and this made me a little bit sad, our ears and our noses will continue to get bigger and bigger the older we get. And this isn't because our ears and noses are actually growing, but because the cartilage in our ears and noses kind of starts to, the collagen in the cartilage starts to break down. And as that breaks down, gravity takes hold and our noses and our ears start to droop a little bit more, giving the appearance of being bigger. Humans are not the only species with fingerprints. Koalas, chimps, gorillas also have them, but it is one of the features that makes us fairly unique within the animal kingdom. And because I'm hungry, this is interesting to note as well. Right-handed people tend to chew more of their food on the right side of their mouth, and left-handed people tend to do so on the left sides of their mouths. And that's it. Humans are pretty interesting and amazing animals. We have many, many faults and we have many things we need to fix and do. But when looking at us as animals, I think we are rather remarkable, but not the most remarkable and not necessarily the most exceptional. Like I've pointed out with all the other animals that we've looked at in the highlights so far, the next time you see a human, maybe look at the human and think about them as humans that have their own individual histories that have been shaped by thousands and thousands and thousands of years of history, of changes, including things like domestication, that have altered how we relate to one another as well as how we relate to other animals. A huge huge thank you to Animals in Philosophy, Politics, Law and Ethics for sponsoring the Animal Turn podcast where these highlights were taken from. And another massive thank you to Christiaan Mentz for editing this episode. Thank you also goes to Rebecca Shen for designing the Animal Highlight logo and episode artwork. This is The Animal Highlight with me, Claudia Hirtenfelder.